Hey, everybody. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining me for Grace with Paul Gray. Well, we're doing a little detective work this week, and I appreciate the comments that many of you have sent me about enjoying this little series and wondering what's going to happen next. And I appreciate those comments very much. I appreciate you all. In the beginning, I asked you to imagine that you were a private detective who was helping a 20-year-old named Sam find his birth father. And you did the work and you actually found out who it was. But you decided not to tell Sam and instead to string him along so he would keep coming back and paying you for more work, which doesn't need to be done. You combine the qualities of the two men that you narrowed it down to, one who was absolutely wonderful and the other who was squeaky clean morally, but also vindictive and punitive and impossible to please. So instead of telling Sam the truth that his father was the absolutely wonderful guy, and enabling them, Sam, to go on and pursue a relationship with his real father, you gave him a mixed message so that you could profit and keep him coming back to you. Now, today, I want you to imagine that you are Sam. You're no longer the detective. Imagine that you're Sam. Put yourself in his shoes. He's 20 years old. His adoptive parents didn't tell him he was adopted until he found out after they died, which was just a short time ago. And he desperately wants to know his real father. But you are Sam now, and you're being duped by someone you trust. So Sam agrees to meet with the deceptive private eye again and pay him more money. He doesn't know he's being duped. And when they meet, the private eye is kind of elusive and deceptive and just continues to present this mixed message lie about who the father might be. Well, put yourself again in Sam's shoes. You're hopeful. You initially have confidence in this guy. After all, he's a licensed expert, and a lot of people, go to him and recommend him. You have a couple of more meetings. You pay him several $100s for his time, plus a few $1,000s to reimburse him for trips to Topeka. You wonder what he's actually doing with your money. And you start to lose confidence because this isn't working for you. You're getting this message that your birth father's really good, but he's also not so good when his children and family mess up. You're actually experiencing cognitive dissonance. Those two things don't jibe with each other. They can't really both be true. So you start asking some questions. I mean, how can he be like this, but also like that? Are you sure that my father's like that? And if so, why can't you determine who he is? And you hear more double talk from the private eye. More vague references to detective work that he's trained in, but you just need to trust him with and not question him. And each time you go, it costs you more money. He claims to still be working on your case, and you ask him what he's really doing. All he says is, well, confidential detective work, trips to Topeka and sources that I'm interviewing that want to remain anonymous. It's very frustrating. Then you get an idea. You'll do a little detective work of your own. So at the next meeting, you ask for the receipts of where he's been staying in Topeka and where he ate and the addresses of Uber destinations and things like that. He agrees, but he says, it's going to take quite a while to get that done because my secretary is very busy and I'm working very hard on your case, and we'll get it to you, but it won't be right away. So you say, okay. He tells you he's flying back to Topeka again tomorrow, and you have a plan. Tomorrow comes and you call his office and you ask for him, and the secretary says, I'm sorry, he's out of town. So you go to his office and you tell her that you're getting ready to pay them for the bill that he gave you yesterday, but you need copies of his expense reports that he billed you for. She's hesitant, but you tell her that yesterday he'd have you get them to you when she had time. And she says, well, okay. So she gets a folder, makes copies of the receipts, gives them to you, and you thank her, and you just casually say, is he traveling on business today? And she says, oh no, he's a golfer, He's on a 3-day golf outing. He does that a lot. You go, So you go to a coffee shop, and you start looking through his receipts. Tomorrow, you'll learn what he found. How you feeling about this whole deal? After being in Sam's shoes today, getting a mixed message. Just asking. See you tomorrow.